right?
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brad Vince. I'm the Operations Administrator at the Edmonton Intercultural Center. This evening, we'd like to welcome Rita Loteca, and she's going to be presenting and doing a demonstration of her Sudanese cuisine. First things first, before we get started here, on behalf of the Edmonton Intercultural Center, we wish to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is on Treaty 6 territory, and it is the traditional gathering place for the First Peoples, our ancestors, the caregivers of Turtle Island. We honor and respect the history, languages, ceremonies, and cultures of the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who call this territory home. So good evening, Farai, and Farai is our camera facility host. And good evening, Rita. Maybe you can introduce yourself and tell us what you're cooking tonight. I don't think we have volume here.
Yeah, sorry.
Hi everyone, my name is Rita Loteca. I'm from South Sudan, and as Brad said, that I'm going to be cooking today like our traditional food, which we call it. I don't know in English, I don't know in Arabic, but it is we call it nyagwa. We call it nyagwa. So I'm here with my daughter. Her name is Aju. Say something. Okay, so yeah, so I've been here in Canada for almost 16 years, 17 years, and I'm working also with my cafe head brokers. So I'm here today, as I said, I'm going to be cooking my traditional food. This is normally, this kind of a food is not something that's big, but most of the people, they love it, and it's light, it's not really that heavy, even though we are adding peanut butter. Normally people like to eat it during lunchtime because like eat it in the evening, it's gonna be heavy, but lunchtime is good to eat it. And I'm going to be cooking like I will the stew, and then I'm gonna be making rice, and I will be making fufu. So unfortunately, I forgot with one pot, but I will be able to find out how I will do it. So I think it's good that we can start.
Yep.
Okay. So according to the recipe, as I said, that I'm going to be like this kind of a food we can cook with a different kind of a meat. Some people
I think we've lost the audio.
Okay, we can continue now.
Okay. Yeah, so as I said that this kind of a food, like you can cook with fish, you can cook with a different kind of a beef, a meat. You can use beef, you can use lamb. Like people have a different taste. Like they like, some people like beef, some people like lamb or goat. So as I said, that we can use different kind. And today I asked that, I told Brad that let those who are going to be cooking, let them take the meat and start boiling it with onions. Because meat is taking long, that's why I asked them to boil their meat. But for me today, I changed mine. I'm gonna be using fish. This is a dry fish that I bought it from China store. It's a small one. It's a small fish. I put it in the water because it's salty. So I have to reduce the salt. So I put it in the water for some times and I took it out. So I'm gonna be cooking the fish. But normally I cook with the meat. Why I took this one, I choose the fish because it's fast to cook. Thank you. So I'm going to start like putting all my stuff and I will start cooking. So I'm putting everything. I'm going to dump them in this big pot. I will put a little bit of water, not a lot. So I'm putting my fish, and if you have your beef that you've already cooked and it's ready, that's good. So you don't have to do anything. I'm just putting my onions and tomatoes. And I am using today, I'm going to be using the Maggi. This is a chicken Maggi. I prefer it than the other one. This is just a flavor, chicken flavor, so that it will make it taste good. So and I am going to be adding the oil, not a lot, because if you put a lot, it's got. Sorry guys, I don't know how to measure, because like we used to cook in a big amount, and today I'm making it small, and we don't use really measurement. You just look at it and you know how much is it, and then you just dump like the amount that you think is enough. So I'm gonna add some water. I'm just putting a little bit of water. I'm not gonna put a lot of water because onions have a water and tomatoes also have a water. I am using a pressure cooker because it's fast to cook too. So
Rita, we have
Yes.
someone asking a couple questions here. The fish, the dried fish, you can buy that at most of the Asian stores, right?
yes, Indian store and China's store too. Chinese
Yeah.
store too. You can find them there.
Okay, and then another question is the meat. I know we talked about that this afternoon. I think you said 15 to 20 minutes in about 1 cup of water with onion, just to tenderize it a bit. Does that sound
Yes.
right?
Yeah, just like the beef that you don't have to cook it up to the end, because it's got like after we mix the greens, the spinach with it's gonna take it's gonna be overcooked. That's why I ask like to be a little bit like not to cook more.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So now I am going to be, I have a spinach here. I took the raw spinach. I'm going to cut it and put it in this pot just to cook it so that it will be like, sometimes if it is a different kind of yes, it's not necessary that you have to cook a spinach. Any kind of a greens, really, it will work. Any kind of a greens, it will work. Sometimes people mix spinach with sukuma wiki. What is the name of sukuma wiki? Anyway, like you can mix 2 different kind of a greens. It doesn't matter to be like only spinach. So I'm going to be cutting the spinach and I will put it in a pot while it will be cooking. Or sometimes this is a spinach that is raw, and I bought also the one that is a frozen one. You can use the one that is ready-made, that is a frozen one. You can buy it also. They have it in a superstore, Walmart, all these big stores, they have it. So I am going to mix this one and this one, but you can use any one.
It's the same kind,
Yeah,
right?
it's the same. I just brought this one.
Mm.
Like, because I have it, and this one I bought it so that I can show that, you know, you can also use this one. So it doesn't matter really what kind of a spinach. So I'm gonna be putting both of them. I'm gonna put, this one is a smaller. It doesn't look very well. Let me take this one.
So you're using frozen spinach and then some fresh spinach also, right?
Yes. Yeah, but it doesn't matter really which one that you can use, because both of them is really, it's working very well. So I'm gonna be cutting my spinach. I wash it already, so I just prepare it. It's ready here. That's why I'm cutting it. I wash it before.
So this dish you're preparing, is it considered to be one of your national dishes?
Yes, it's one of the national dishes. Like as I said, we have 65 tribes in South Sudan, but normally it's Equatoria. We have Central Equatoria, and we have Central and East and West. These are the people that normally cook this kind of a food, but those who are in upper Nile and so they don't cook this kind of a food. This is normally for the Southerners, and this is one of the dishes that we consider it as a traditional. I'm gonna make it a little bit so that you know some people will take and you can take some.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because the fish is kind of like it's more. That's why.
If anybody has any questions, just type them in the chat and then I'll relay them over to Rita and see what she can do to answer.
I have a few questions. I have a question. Also.
Yes.
Is this part of lunch, dinner?
You know, as I said that it's good to be eaten at lunch, or if you are eating dinner, it has to be before 5, 6. It will be good because of the peanut, it's kind of a heavy, you know. That's why when you eat it early, like you will not feel that, you know, kind of heavy in your stomach and so. That's why. But yeah, it's really very good to have a lot of nutritional value. Imagine tomatoes, peanut butter, and drinks. So
Okay.
Millie, she's one of our regulars here. She's learning all this different cuisine. She's wondering here, she's got a question. She's got a bunch of okra. She's wondering what she's going to do with it.
okra.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think she
Okra.
went off your recipe or a different recipe or something.
Yeah. Sorry, Brad. When I told you about the recipe, I said the food is gonna be like that one. But that one I told you, I said that one was the okra, but the one that I'm gonna be cooking today without okra.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's from a modified recipe, Millie. So
Yeah, you know, everything is the same. It's just only okra that I'm not gonna include it on this one. Okra and then the soda, baking soda. This one without baking soda, without okra.
yeah. Okay. Perfect.
So I'm sorry, you don't have to use the okra. If you want the one of okra, I will demonstrate it for you next time. Yeah. So meanwhile, this one is preparing. I am going to put, give me a second. I'm going to put my, I'm going to cook my rice. I will just normal rice. So it's just so that when it's ready, everything is ready, so we can see how it looks. Yes, what is your question?
Can you eat it with bread?
You can eat it with bread. You can eat it with rice. You can eat it with injera. You can eat it with Sudanese kisra. You can eat it with fufu. You can eat it with what do you call it? With Sudanese kisra. You know, kisra it's look like injera, but it's a little bit lighter than injera. So, and chapati too. You know chapati, right? You can eat it with chapati too. So it's really like it goes with everything. Okay, I am going to prepare my rice. I've got some rice here. As I said, I'm going to cook some rice and I will make also fufu. I wish that I have the pan so that I can do kisra, but I don't have time for that today. Yeah. So let's wash this one. Are you going to edit this one? Okay. I normally use normal oil. Some people they put what do you call it? Like they have preference for the oil, but for me I don't have any. It's just normal cooking for rice. Salt.
So you're making this in a pressure cooker, so that's just to speed up the cooking time and to tenderize, I guess, the fish, the dried fish more. But you can make this in a regular pot, right?
Did you hear the question?
What was that?
They say you're using the pressure cooker for cooking the meat and tenderizing it. So could you use just any
No, you
pot?
can use any kind of a pot. It's just like because I want it to be fast. That's just why I am using a pressure cooker. But you can use just a normal pot. Yeah, it doesn't mean like it's.
Rita, I'm wondering, did you put anything in with the spinach? Or it's just spinach right now in your other pot?
No, this is only spinach.
Ah, okay.
With what?
Yeah, nothing is in here. It's just spinach. So when the spinach, because I want the spinach because the one that is frozen, I didn't add any water because of the frozen one, and even the raw one. When you wash it, because it's gonna be some water on it. So normally I put it without any water because I know that the frozen one is gonna be melting and there's gonna be some water on it. So when it's done, I will mix it and still it's gonna be a little bit of water. That's why.
So good. I think all the questions have been answered.
Which one I got? I got
What?
okay. So now I'm just waiting for this one. This one everything is gonna be done. And that one, until it's done. So
So in review, we have the spinach in one pot, steaming. And in the pressure cooker pot, we have the dried fish and onion that is blending together. And then after you'll be adding the spinach in. So it seems like there's not so many ingredients in this, a very simple ingredient dish, right?
Yeah, it's very simple. Very simple ingredients. Not a lot of things, but for sure it tastes good.
Oh yeah, I imagine it is very good.
And on the tomato, plus meat or fish, peanut butter, and the spinach, and the flavor. I think this is all, and oil. These are all the ingredients that for the stew that I'm making, not more than this. Yeah. So, what
Um,
else can you say about any questions? Meanwhile, I'm waiting for my video.
I was going to ask this type of dish, this passed on from generation to generation, where people get taught how to make it. Did anybody show you how to make it, or how did you learn how to do this?
Yeah, it's part of our tradition and part of our culture that, normally, it's one of the food that really, when you have a guest, you have to serve that kind of food. It's really one of them. Because why? Because it's really, it's a nutritious part and it's just good. So that is why people love to serve it. And who taught me? My mom, for sure, my mom. I learned to cook when I was in grade 4. Yeah, because I love cooking. That's why I started to cook. But I became expert in cooking when I was in grade 10. Yeah, I think grade 10. Then not only directions, and sometimes even I will add some stuff, I will check out some stuff, and sometimes I will do it in a different way. I just want to think the story, how it's gonna test and how it's gonna go. But yeah, so this one, people also, they have different way of cooking, different food, different, like different tribes, they can cook it in a different way. But this is the from my tribe, which is called Barre, and some other tribes, which is 7 tribes that speak the same language, it's called Barre speakers. They have 7 tribes that speak the same language, it's just different language. But yeah, all of them, they cook it differently. All of us, we cook it differently.
The same, right?
The same food, but in a different ingredients sometimes. And most of the people also, they can cook with butter, like they keep sweetness, right? Yeah. So they also they make it with the butter, and they instead of using peanut butter, they use peanut butter. So yeah. So by cooking it differently.
One of our participants, Karen, has asked a question here that might be beneficial for everyone to know. She says that I have not had much luck finding the recipes that get presented each week. Can someone tell me where I should look? For example, last week she wants to make the sticky rice. So Michelle has kindly posted the link to our website. And in the website there, if you look under programs, it'll have each weekly cuisine, including tonight's. And it will have the recipe there. And also we do have a YouTube channel. If you want to actually see the recording of each week, you can go to the YouTube channel and find the cuisine you're looking for, and you can actually see the actual recipe that each of our chefs have been using, right? I hope that answers some questions there.
Yeah. So any questions? it depends. My daughter here is asking like how long it's gonna take, for me to finish all this cooking. It depends. If I put a lot of water, it will take long time. But if it is, I didn't add a lot of water, so I know pressure cooker is reduce a lot of water. It cooks very fast. So I'm just waiting for the spinach when the water goes down, and then I will mix it. And I think it's 45 minutes from now, or maybe less. More 45 minutes to be done.
Sorry.
Rita, Rita, I have a question for you.
Yes.
In your recipe, I was reading it today, and down at the bottom, it says that your fufu that you're gonna make later, right? You say that you eat it with your hands, which is very common with many cultures, right? But you said in there that you only eat it with your right hand. I'm wondering what happens if you're left-handed? Like, why do you eat with your right hand?
What happens if say somebody's left-handed?
No, we have people are left-handed, like it depends just how you're eating it. But for us, typically, we enjoy eating it with the hand. But most of the people also they eat it with the spoon. It doesn't matter really how you eat it, But some people also they are left-handed. If you are left-handed, you can just eat with your left hand. So it doesn't matter really which hand that you're using.
Oh, it said on there, we eat it with our right hand, and I thought, oh, there must be some symbolism or some cultural.
If I do something like that, I don't know. But yeah, you can use the spoon, you can use the fork, you can use your hand. It doesn't matter which how you eat it.
امسك ايد جدا.
Thank you.
ثانك يو ملا تفق ولا ملا.
My fish will be done. I'm gonna take the air out so that you can see how much is
ليش تعبين انت؟ اصلا غادره.
I'm taking just to take the air out so that I can open it and see how much water is there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
The pressure will come on, right?
sorry?
The pressure will come on.
Yeah.
So with this dish, also men can also make this, right? Like
If they know how to do it, they
Yeah.
will do it for sure.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's the men, kids, women.
But typically in Sudan, like in Africa, men, you don't cook, right?
Yeah,
And
I was
then
just
that's what-
I was just asking as an
Yeah.
African man. I was just trying to find out.
Yes. No, but if you know how to cook, why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is how it looks. Yeah, so it's done. A little bit of a soup on it. It's not that a lot because I didn't put a lot of water. Now what I'm gonna do, because I don't want the fish to be breaking into pieces, so I'm gonna put only the soup here. So it will cook with spinach. Why I'm doing this? Because I don't want the fish to be breaking into small, yeah. didn't add a salt when I was doing it, so I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Depends on how much salt that you,
Mhm.
yes. So what I'm gonna do, I will check later. If I put fufu here, I'm gonna be putting this one. I will dump it here with the fish, and I will use this one to make fufu. Okay?
I was going to ask a question about fufu.
Yes.
Is it a northern dish in different countries, or is it? Because I know northwest Africa they use fufu more. I didn't know that in Sudan they also.
No, Sudan, both north and south, they eat fufu.
Mhm.
But we use in Sudan, in South Sudan, we normally use corn and then sorghum and different kind, like all these. But in northern Sudan, they use, I think, a couple of them. Like they don't use corn a lot. They use sorghum and the other. I don't know how do you call it in English? But yeah, they use a different corn that they make it with fufu. In East Africa, we use cassava too. Mostly cassava. Cassava, they have a different way to make it. They will take the cassava, put it in the water for a couple of days, and then after that, we'll take it out to dry. And when it dries, then they will grind it. When they grind it, then it will become like a flour. Then we make
Rita,
it.
Rita, Millie is cooking along with us here. And she is just asking, when you put the spinach on, you put salt in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like a couple pinches of salt.
Yeah, I put salt here instead of meat, like because when I was putting the fish, or maybe if it's a fish or meat, I didn't put the salt. I put the Maggi. I put the flavor. This one here I put it, but normally people like you can, after mixing them all, you can put the salt because like it will depend of the taste that you want. So from there, like if you mix them together, then you can put the salt and you will determine how salt that you want, whether it's if you are a salty person or no. Yeah, but you can just put salt at any time. It doesn't matter really.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I think Millie is making hers with meat.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
How is she, like, where is she now? What's her name? Melanie? Millie. Okay, make sure that you know you the beef. The meat that the stew that the boiled one. The water have to be little. Don't let the water a lot. And take out the water, dump it in a spinach. Let it cook with the spinach so that you can determine. Let the meat be dry. Then after that, you can just take a meat and put it in a spinach after you put the peanut butter.
So add no water in with the spinach, just drain your meat. Correct?
Okay, I'm ready to put my peanut butter because the water is going down so that also when you're putting the peanut butter, it depends how much, like, some people want it a lot of peanut butter, some people want a little, but how much is peanut that you have, And I'm not going to say that I'm going to be putting maybe 1 spoon, 2 spoons. it will depend how much. Normally, I just put it. So this is one. So I put 3 spoons, full spoon, that it's not a small one that you can say, you know.
So that would be about 3 scoops of peanut butter.
Yeah. It's not a spoon, it's scoop, right?
How does it smell, Fry?
Well, it smells pretty good. Smells pretty good. And smell of fish and peanut butter. Awesome.
So now I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna put it in a fish.
So after putting peanut butter is
Yes, after putting peanut butter,
Yeah.
I'm going to mix them. Okay, I'm gonna mix the fish with this one, and I will reduce the heat very low because I want all the water like this in the not to be watery, to be a little bit thick. That's why I will have to reduce the. This one. If you use fish or beef, it's gonna be looking the same, so it doesn't matter. It really will not give you a difference about the look. So I reduce the heat. So this is how it's gonna be, but okay.
show me again. So the fish is gonna stay intact, right?
Yes. So what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna be making fufu, okay? I'm washing this one so that I can.
I believe Rita will be making the fufu. She has made rice also, but she will be making the fufu bread in when she's done with the beef or the fish stew here. Is that right, Rita? You're making the fufu in a bit, right?
Okay, I'm not gonna make it a lot. I'm just gonna make a little bit of fufu, not really that much. Only for 2 people. is like normally when I'm making fufu, I have this is the corn that we have it in the superstore, we have it in Arab store, we have it in what do you call it? Superstore, Arab store, and Walmart. So I think it's like $2 something. So this is we call it semolina. If you do this one by itself, it's very dry. So normally we mix it with all-purpose so that it will be a little bit soft. For me today, I'm sorry, I forgot to bring the all-purpose. So I'm just like, but as I'm saying, like, you know, you have to mix it with all-purpose so that it will be a little bit softer. If you do it this one by itself, it's good, but it's dry. It's dry. So we want it to be almost soft. That's why I'm asking like to be mixed with
What do you normally mix it with? You said that you forgot?
I forgot with flour on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forgot I didn't bring it, but yeah. Sometimes people, it's very hard for people, like, you know, because for me, like I've already used to do that. But if you are making it, you don't want it to be like a kind of a bolt. So most of the people, they take it and dissolve it a little bit with water, like to make it.
We can't really see on the bag what that is. What is it that you're pouring in?
What's that?
I said we can't really see on the bag what that is. What is the ingredient there?
This one?
Yes.
It's called semolina. It's a corn flour.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. This is a
Semolina.
corn flour. It's called semolina. So normally they put it with the water first, and then you have to let it cook for a little bit. Like it's just like when you're making porridge. You know porridge, right? When you're
Yes.
making porridge, yeah. So,
What is the mixture there? You have how much water and how much of the semolina?
this one I'm just making it very small because nobody's here is gonna be eating it. So it's just only maybe 3 of us here and somebody's there. But other than this, like it depends. Sometimes like when you're at home, you have a lot of people, like, you know, you can put 2 to 3 cups of water. But this one is it's like a 1.5 cup of water. And when you're gonna make it, it doesn't need, like, you know, how much flour that you're gonna be using. You can see from the texture until, like, you know, some people they make it very, very hard. Some people they make it a little bit soft. So it depends how hard you want it or how soft you want it.
So what would be the average ratio? Like 2 to 1, 3 to 1?
Okay.
If you want soft, let's say.
For example, if you want it a little bit softer, it will be like 1 cup to water to 1.5 cups for flour.
Okay.
1.5, yeah.
So 1.5 to 1. Yeah.
Yes.
So that would be like, 3 to 2 if you're making a little bit bigger batch. And if you like it soft, right?
Yes. So when you're making fufu, every time you will be adding a little bit, not a lot. You will be adding a little bit, and while it will be cooking. Do you want to come and help with this one? Help this floor? Top floor? Yeah. It will be good like when you're making fufu, normally like put a little bit, always you add a little bit of flour, not just dump it at once because you never know how it's gonna be hot. And yeah, because whenever it cools down, it's gonna be very hot. So you will have to make sure that every time you just add a little bit.
So this fufu you're making, that would be considered a staple, just like rice would be?
Yes.
And
It
that
would
is
be
that
a-
your like most common bread?
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, this is the common one that people always eat fufu with that stew. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Does it last, like if you cooked a batch up and you had some left over or in a dish or a bowl or a bag would,
Yes, sometimes like fufu like this, it can take to 2 to 3 days, even if it's not in the fridge. It's good like it because it's really well cooked.
okay, so it's good on the counter, you know, grab a,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
This is how we make it. You know, to be soft, like so that it will not be. This one now for me is good, but because it's only corn, if it becomes a little bit cold, it will be more harder than this one. So I'm not gonna add any flour on it. Like this is enough.
Rita, there is another name for this fufu also. Can you tell us what that name is?
We call it asida.
Yeah. Yeah, well, somebody's typed in the chat there, Sudanese Asida. I wasn't sure how to pronounce it, but
Yeah, you pronounce it right. Okay. So I'm going to put something like that. I'm gonna put some in containers.
this fufu kind of looks to me like almost like a dumpling, you know, like you would put in your chicken stew or something. That's kind of like what it reminds me of.
This is how we make it to
Yeah,
make it.
being I'm here. So has that got the consistency of like mashed potatoes? Is that
Yes, it's just like mashed potato. But
it's got the same consistency right now, right? And then as it cools down, it'll turn more doughy bread like, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're almost done. why I'm putting this one in water so that it will not stick in my spoon. So I put in the water so that I can be able to make it nicely. Okay. Let me take this thing out of here. My food is ready, and fufu is ready, rice is ready. So it's time now, I think, for me to put them so that you can see how it looks. I'm gonna be using one plate with fufu and one plate is rice. So I have rice and I have fufu. And the way that I'm gonna be putting it is kind of a different. For fufu, normally it goes at the side. And when you're using it with rice, it has to go on top. So,
So with rice, it's a topping, and with fufu, it's a side dish. It looks very good.
I think it's ready to be. We don't have a spoon. How are you gonna eat it? Are you gonna eat it? You have to use your hand.
My right hand, to be specific.
Yes. So yeah. So this is all what I have. I hope
So-
that this one is really cooking there. I hope that you find something out of this, like and it's kind of near to this. Anyone?
So I don't know, we haven't spoken much about your culture and your country and that, besides your cuisine, right? Is there anything that we should know that you want to share about your culture and?
Not really. Okay, maybe about like culture. For example, if somebody is getting married, in my culture, normally the girls, they get married when they're very young. Like especially those who are not educated, like from 16, 17, 18, they're already getting married. And when they're getting married, we have 3 or 4 different kind of marriages. One, either there is arranged marriage between 2 families. The second one is like if a male he wants a lady and the lady did not want her, doesn't want him, then they will have to kidnap the girl. Still, they call it marriage. So after they kidnap the girl, she will stay there maybe for 3, 4 days, and then the parents of the lady will send some people. No, the guy will send some of his family to come and inform the family of the bride that don't look for your girl, we have her. The third one is a kind of a traditional that the other one, the third one is the family of the groom will come. They will send a letter to the family of bride. They will say, oh, you know what? I have something here. I have a flower. They don't say, I've seen a girl. They say, we have seen a flower in your house and we want to pick this flower. So that is normally that a lot of people, they practice that one. Unless sometimes if you want a girl and you don't have money and there is a lot of competition, that is the time that they will go and kidnap the girl. So yeah, so but at the end, is they call it also marriages, and most of them they end up like really very well. Even those girls who have been kidnapped, he loved the girl, but because he's poor, he doesn't have money, maybe, or maybe the family of the bride, they don't want him. So, but at the end, when the lady is taken, she's taken. She will not come back. Yeah, she will not come back. Even if she don't want that guy, she will stay there. No way, anywhere that she's coming back. And from my tribe, we have some other tribes that, for example, you have to pay dowry. And if you pay dowry, we have a tribe called Denka. They are the most expensive one. They pay more than 200 to 300 cows for a bride. And especially they have, like, when you are tall, you have a dark skin, you have a white teeth, and yeah, so all these characteristics that you have, more cows that you have to pay. But for my tribe, we have a limited number. Like cow, you have to pay 12 cow and 36 lamb or goat, and then some money on top of that. That is all the dowry that you have to pay from my tribe. And the other thing also is about culture, yeah. So the other thing about my culture, for example, if you're married, especially if this married, like, the groom came to your house and you stay there, even if you fight, sometimes they'll say, oh, you know what, I'm going to our house, to my father's house. And so when you go home there, your parents will take you back to your husband's house. This is the culture. Like, there is no any way that unless the man has been abusing you, like they've seen really that kind of abuse, that they're beating you and they're treating you really very bad, and the family, they experience that, then we say, oh, you know what, we have to take our daughter because she's not deserving, to be treated that way. But if it is from you, like kind of a quarrel and so, and you run back to your family's house, they will take you back to your husband's house. Whatever the case, they will take you there. And other things, if you refuse to be with a man, intimacy that time, like when you're sleeping and then you turn your back, they will send you back to that you did not respect the man. So they will take you back to your father's house, and your father have to be like, when they're the time that they're taking you back to your husband's house, they have to, like, there is a fine. That fine that you have to take a goat with you because you refuse to your husband. So that is a fine. So this is a kind of a culture that, people really enjoy it. And so, and the other thing also that is beautiful about our culture, but other people, they don't like it, but this is part of my culture. For example, if the groom is coming to to the bride house, they have to stay outside, like they have to lock them outside. They are not allowed to go inside, for example, inside the house. They will be outside sometimes. They will be more than 6 hours. They're standing out there just begging, begging so that they can go out, and they'll say, no, we want this amount of money. If you don't give us this amount of money, we are not coming in. So it's kind of like, they have to be negotiating and so until they get into the middle, then after that, they will let them in. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. We have a question here from Karen. She's wondering, Rita, how long have you been in Canada?
Yeah, I've been here, it's going to 17 years.
17 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very soon I will be 17. I'm 16, going to 17 years.
Yeah. Okay, well, your food is already there, and we appreciate you doing your presentation here and sharing your cuisine here with us. And I'm sure you got people there that are just itching to taste this and fill their tummies. So thank you very much, Rita. I appreciate you doing this for us. And nobody else has any other questions. Okay, so have a good evening and thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Bright, for giving me this opportunity too, to present also my culture and my food. And I'm really appreciating you and the building for also allowing me to be cooking here, and all the people who have been watching. I really appreciate your time and thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate yours too. Thank you, Rita. Bye-bye. Good night.
Okay. And we are done.